Hey Rebels, looks like I'm being a rebel like I always am. So, having a dog, you can't stay inside all day when the weather's bad. Well, that means I gotta get acclimated to 40 plus mile an hour winds. As you see, it's blowing the hell out of my phone. I'm having to grip onto it nice and hard. But anyways, join me in my walk. I'd like to share some thoughts with you. I took a walk recently through my community. Just a quiet walk, no script, no agenda, just time to think. Time to process the frustration, the questions, the warning signs I've been seeing everywhere. And what kept coming back to me was this. Something is deeply wrong with how we're educating our children. Not just in content, but in control. This isn't a rant, it's a warning, a call, a fire lit from a fuse that's been burning for over a decade, and it's time to talk about it. When I was a kid, my grandfather gave me a lesson in critical thinking I've never forgotten. He asked me, which is better, communism or the American system? I said I didn't know, so he said, communism is the best system. And for a minute, I believed him. Then he flipped it on me. He started listing everything America did right. He looked at me and said, every system has pros and cons. No system fits all the people. The question isn't which system is perfect, it's who's being honest about the trade-offs. That's what my first real taste of critical thinking was. Not something telling me what to think, but showing me how to question everything. Fast forward to 1992, Clinton versus Bush. My class held a mock vote. I come from a military family, so I picked Bush. Up until that point, my teacher had always been supportive. But after I made that choice, everything changed. The class turned on me, so did she. That moment stuck with me. That was in 1992, when dissent already came with social consequences. Now imagine that amplified by the internet, social media, algorithms. Imagine what happens to a kid who questions the narrative today. The more I thought about it on that walk, the more I realized this isn't about education, it's about control. The soft kind. The kind you don't notice until it's already rewritten how you think. And it starts with kids, always has. Lincoln said it best. The philosophy of the schoolroom in one generation will be the philosophy of government in the next. So if you can control what kids see, what they read, and what they hear, and more importantly, what they question, you control the future. That's where digital literacy programs come in. Not the kind we all assume, teaching kids how to code or think critically. I'm talking about the kind cooked up in boardrooms, passed down through third-party nonprofits, and handed to schools as doctrine. The kind shaped by the Aspen Institute, Rand Corporation, and other unelected think tanks that shape perception without ever being held accountable. Digital literacy sounds harmless, almost noble. Who doesn't want kids to be media savvy? But if you control how media literacy is defined, you control how truth is filtered. And who's at the center of that filtering? Private foundations, NGOs, bureaucratic coalitions with no accountability to voters. It started with small programs in 2010, pilots, experiments, now it's policy, now it's curriculum, and now it's built into every platform we use, from YouTube search results to what shows up in school assignment. Let's talk about that for a second. YouTube, for instance, this very platform, was funded in part with intelligence seed money back in its early days. Google, Facebook, Twitter. The Twitter files showed us what we already suspected. These platforms aren't neutral. They're pipelines. They control the flow of what gets seen and what gets buried. And while presidential orders can target public agencies, they don't touch private policy, which means ESG, DEI, and other ideological levers are still in play, no matter who's in the White House. So what does this mean for your kid? It means that what they're taught to believe about media, bias, misinformation, all of it is preloaded. And the people writing those definitions, they don't answer to you. They answer to institutions that benefit most from a docile, agreeable population. This is psychological grooming on a societal level. And if you say that too loudly, you get flagged. Not for being wrong, but for being disruptive. Because the algorithm doesn't care about the truth, it cares about impact. And if your content makes people ask hard questions, you get buried, suppressed, demonetized, or worse, deleted. Not because you lied, but because you told the wrong truth at the wrong time. But here's the good news. Not everyone is asleep. You are here. You're watching this. That means your eyes are open.
So then what do we do about it? We start small. We teach our kids how to question again, like my grandfather did with me. We talk about the uncomfortable subjects that we're generally told to stay away from. We bring nuance back. We build platforms that can't be controlled by censors. We fund creators who are willing to risk being silenced. We stop being scared of clicks and start building real communities again. Because here's the reality. This channel might not be here tomorrow. And I'm not being dramatic. I'm being honest. Truth doesn't play well with the algorithm, but you can beat the system if you help spread the message. So what you need to do is like, comment, share, not for vanity, for visibility. Let's overwhelm the system so it has no choice but to put it out to the masses. And if you can support the channel financially, that's even better, because truth isn't just censored, it's costly. But silence is worse. Silence is the system winning. We didn't choose this fight, but we are here. So let's stop playing defense and start speaking fire. They built the framework. We decide what flows through it. So push the message, share this video, be the resistance. The future isn't lost, but it's up to us to take it back.